Hello, and welcome to the first annual Owies. We're going to call it the Owie Awards. And I want you to know that this is going to be a heavily edited Spotlights in Review for 2019 show. Heavily edited because I've already done everything at least once, and I had all kinds of sound issues and things, so I've come back and I'm redoing things again, and I'm going to re-edit and put things together. So if it seems like it was, chopped up with an axe and put back together with a cudgel, that's because it was, So, but this is the first annual Spotlights in Review we're doing for 2019, and just wanted to mention what was going on and why it may be structured kind of strangely, and you may hear me actually come in and do the hellos again, just because I've had to break this up so many times. I will try to edit everything in a nice way, but if there's some little chops or something, just understand what that is, okay? Alright, so we're going to move on, and we're going to start with our first part of the show. I have been putting together a list of what I think are some of the best mods that now there's a couple of things you have to understand. It has to be a mod that we actually looked at on one of the shows last year, and it has to be a mod that actually came out in 2019. So I didn't want to include mods that actually came out in prior years. Okay, so that kind of limited, that kind of narrowed down our search on some of the mods we want to do, because this is going to be kind of our best mods of 2019. Okay, this is our best mods of 2019. This is extremely subjective. It's just what I, after doing the shows and looking at things that came out in 2019, these were things that I thought were the best. Now, again, subjective. You have to understand everything's going to be subjective. So don't be too upset if something you really like that came out last year is not in this list. Plus, I've had some time to put this together, but probably not as much as I would have liked. I wanted to try to make like a whole show and game load order and stuff for it, but I couldn't really do all that. That would require hours and hours more work, and with the time frame I have, I just wanted to do the best I could. So let's see. So one of the first ones I wanted to point out, and it's a minor, and I'm going to say minor because it's very small. It's a small mod, but it is a very good mod. Is it here in my favorites is the question, and I'm going to say no because I don't see it. Okay, so it's not in my favorites, so let me search for it this way. This is a very small mod. Like I said, it's one of the first ones I thought of for those of us who we want to start the game with dragons and you don't know how to set that up. Maybe through some special command in the cheat room or whatever, which I think someone said you could do, but I never knew how to do that. There's this mod here from Skylord 3000. It's a very super tiny mod. All it does is make sure you have dragons turned on from the beginning of the game, and you can have dragons right off level 1 and get your butt chewed up and handed to you right away. This came out, I think April of last year. There had been another mod similar to this, and then for whatever reason that modder took that mod down. I never really understood why. I guess I understand if you were frustrated with Bethesda that you'd be like, well, I'm not going to do anything there anymore, but I don't see why you would kind of take it out on the community and just remove everything. But I don't know what their justification was, though, and I understand it's a personal decision and it is up to them. So, but anyway, But this person, this modder, must have heard our plea or our cry, because I had even put something out on the request forum, just looking for something just like this, and they did it. At first they did it and they had something added to it, and I was like, well, that's fine, but really I just just this would be plenty. This would be great. And sure enough, they did it. I've used this a lot. This was on my favorites. I don't know why it was unfavorited. It was probably an accident. You know how this interface is. But this is a simple mod, great little mod, does exactly what it says. Now, this switch, once you play a game and you have this turned on and you save, it does get kind of baked into your save. I personally like that, but that may bother you. I'm just letting you know. Removing this mod and yet still playing the same game save will not remove the effect. It will prevent it from being in new games, but from my experience, my old games, and pardon me, I am having some coffee, my old games keep the effect. Alright, so there was always dragons. Oh, there's something else. I wanted to show you this. This is a big mod. It's like a big overhaul. So I'm going to extremes. Oh, let me back up. This is not necessarily in any given order. These are just like, I just tried to hand pick what I thought were some of the best ones from this past year. Best being fun and everything else. Best being fun and hopefully easy to use. Alright, I'm gonna have to go for a moment, so but I'll reconnect back to us. Hold on, I'll come right back. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back. We're just having some snowy weather, and that was just an alarm from the sheriff's office saying that the roads are bad and stuff. Not a big deal. If you live in the northern part of the country, you're used to that. And yes, I know my accent is not from the northern part of the country, but that's where I live now, so that's just the way it is. So I wanted to find the people of Skyrim 2, and I think I entered my search incorrectly to do that, didn't I? I think I left off the 2. Well, here we go. This is the full version. Now I'm just going to tell you, when I went through this and did this, there weren't like a bunch of quests and stuff added. Now there may be some quests and all added, but I'm saying when I went through it, there was not, and I did not find that. However, I found a lot of things added to the game, a lot of fun things, a lot of stuff that you will just discover as you wander around and do your other quests. So it's a big thing. It's a pretty big thing. 370 megabytes. Actually, I would have thought it was bigger, but it adds a lot of fun stuff to the game, and it adds some flavor for one, and it adds some things that really go with the game pretty well. I had it very high in my load order. You can of course go out to their website and look at all their documents and all that. Now I'll tell you, I didn't do that, but then I was doing this for a show and then just trying to do some playthrough stuff, so for me it may be different than it is for you. Alright, not recommending that you do anything against what they advise, since they created the mod. But like I said, it added a lot to the game, a lot of fun stuff, things to discover. I don't know, I really liked it. There are some incompatibilities, so make sure you look for the different versions that work with other different mods, and there may be more patches than I remember. So make sure you find the version that is correct for you. There is even a light version here somewhere. Is this partial? Partial. The partial version now is bigger than the full version. I don't know why. But I'm sure they would answer any questions if you go out there. They sound like a good group of modders, and I think this is a pretty popular mod. And you might remember I also played through their Enemy of My Enemy, but that mod ended up being incomplete, so I can't recommend that, even though, and it really just needed like one little line of documentation, which it didn't have. Yes, I still remember that, Grump. But I thought that was a good idea too. It's just that it's not complete, so. And because it's not complete, I couldn't recommend it. This one, however, seems complete. It's a lot of good, fun stuff. And wait, maybe the partial version. Okay, the partial version is only about 9 megabytes smaller. So how partial is that? I don't know. Oh, here's Enemy of My Enemy. So Enemy of My Enemy is also good, but like I said, it is incomplete, and it just needs one line to tell you that. It doesn't actually start based off the Civil War. It actually starts based off the main quest line once you do the Thalmor Embassy party quest line, if you know what I mean. Alright, so anyway, I didn't want to talk about that because that's not really one of those. The people of Skyrim 2, the full version, was very cool, added a lot of good stuff. Alright, so again, okay, so now we are ready for, let's see, Cathedral Grass Standalone. That is our grass replacer winner. Here we go. It's Cathedral Concept, lightweight, grass overhaul standalone. It's about 72 megabytes. I really enjoyed this though. I had this, you might remember I had this as one of the grasses I tried in Cage's playthrough, where I was fooling around creating a new game for Cage, and I really like this. You'll see a couple of Cathedral mods that I liked. Also worth mentioning, because this was not grass, it's something different, and it's definitely worth seeing. And if you combine these two, you might really like it. Or I think if you combine this with one of the other grass mods, you might like it. But Flower Fields, let's get this here. Yeah, and if you combine it with this grass field, I think Wigwa says it's really nice. But Flower Fields is very nice. This is from Kingports, and I tried this out, and you might remember, it's an old show now, I know, but it's very nice. It's about 90 megabytes. It's bigger than the grass, but you have to remember it's kind of got more stuff to it than the grass, so kind of makes sense that it would be bigger. But it's still not huge. It's not too big, and I think that would be a very good combination. Any good grass mod, and then these flowers, I'm sure, would be great. So because the flowers looked good, and I remember doing the show and it was nice. So alright, so those two are the sort of the grass and flower, but I do have one other thing, because I didn't really have like a true tree mod, okay? But I do have one that does a little bit of everything. And let's just see. I want to see if we can cheat and just do Flora overhaul and find it that way. If I can remember my spelling. I have all this written down. It's in a crazy jumbled mess though, because like I said, this show, I started off doing this and everything went wrong, so so it's going to be kind of crazy, but here we go. Now there's several versions of this. There's even one by Kingports. I think I reviewed both the Kingports one and the HD one, and I thought both were very good. I did not look closely enough to see a huge difference. There may be. Someone had said that they preferred this one. It's a mod by Vert, and it was ported two different. You're looking at two different ports, so I can't really speak to that. I believe I liked both. So I'm not sure what the differences would be. This one is a complete, everything. It's grass, trees, all that stuff. And this version 2, I believe, is also grass, trees, and stuff. So I'm not sure, like I said, what the differences would be. I was leaning towards this one, the that one. That's not to put anybody down. It's just I remember doing this one and thinking that it looked really nice. Of course, like I said, didn't really get into huge details, but anyway, this is my pick, okay? Let's just roll with it. Let's just go with my crazy picks, and I'm just doing the best I can, alright? So, now another cathedral thing I really enjoyed. I tried to put a lot of these in my favorites so it'd be easy to show it to you. Cathedral weathers and seasons. This was my favorite Skyrim weather that came out this past year. And really, I should probably still be using it. The only reason I'm not using it is really just for the shows, so that we can try other weather mods, and I don't have something in the way. It's a little easier for me to show you other mods if I don't have something already there. Maybe I should change my way of thinking a little bit, but nonetheless, I've been trying to keep my personal load order skinny down. But the cathedral weathers and seasons, you would not be disappointed in it. You can use it to increase sharpness, increase saturation, color, and it's just got a lot of good settings. You can affect interior lighting, exterior, outside, nighttime. It's got a lot of good stuff to it. You just have to look at it. You can look at my old, I know I did an old show on it. So then another thing that I bet I have that in my favorites still. I should have, and I bet I don't. We can only keep so many favorites on Bethesda, so sometimes I have to drop something even though it's still really technically a favorite. So what I want to show you is Skyland all-in-one. For its size, no, I'm not even going to say that. For me, it is the best texture, landscape, all that stuff. As far as I'm concerned, it is the best. Now, not to mention the fact that for its size, if you put like any of the other retextures like this, if you put all their pieces together, they're much bigger than this. But beside that, though, I really just like it better. I like the way the Nordic ruins look. They've got this cool design, and they look crumbly, and it's just, the old stuff really looks good, and the wood and different things look really weathered and nice. It's hard to describe without you seeing it, because I'm probably not that good at describing things, but it covers all these things, and I think it's all well worth it. Especially that size. That size is not that big. Considering all that it does, that size is not very big. And this covers, farmhouses, Markarth, Rift and Solitude, Whiterun with the cobblestones, which I really love, Whiterun with the cobblestones. So, it has, it just has everything. It does. So, I really like it. Again, that's what I should be using all the time. That's how much I like it. I should be using that all the time. So then I have like a little utility, and I just call it a utility. You can also call it a cheat, and that's fine. It is a cheat. It's a utility and a cheat, and it is this: unlimited enchantments. And now this just came out last year. Now could be. Let's see. Does this say? I do not own this, and I'm just porting it. So they are porting it. It could be it had to be reported. I don't know. But to me, it just came out this year as near as I could tell. If you look at the date on it, and I just started using it this year too. It's very, very nice. It is a cheat because you can put so many enchantments on your armor, but at the same time, it's a convenience mod because you can put so many enchantments on your armor and your weapon. So I really liked it. It's very tiny, and it's very good, very useful. Now it does make a small change to your enchanting perks or perk tree, so just be aware of that. So it's the only thing that could possibly give you issues as far as I know. Now we get into armor replacers. Armor replacers are very simple. I'm going to show you something that I looked at not even that long ago, but I really liked it so much and you can tell I'm going straight to something that NordWar has done, because NordWar, other people have been porting this stuff, but the NordWar, if I could talk, the NordWar mods are all really nice that I've seen. I've not seen one yet that was bad. Okay, but when I first saw this guard's armor replacer, I was just, it's just so good. It's very good, and the person who ported it must have done a good job, because it looks really good. The guard's armor, all that looks really nice. Now, it's a big mod. It is. It's a big mod. But if you really like it, it's worth it. Now, just FYI though, there is a smaller version which looks almost as good. Not quite, but it still looks really, really good. Okay? It's not as good, but it's really good. And that's this one, the light guard armor overhaul. And it's still good. Very good, and I think I have used it more because it's smaller. But the big one is better. And not that bigger is always better, but in this case, the bigger one is better. Just saying. So anyway, so there's that. That was like my favorite armor replacer right there. Just boom. And I know it doesn't really affect it. As the character player, you can get this armor and make that armor and use that armor. So it can affect you, but it doesn't automatically affect you. It automatically affects all the guards in the game, but it looks really, really nice. Now, if you're looking for a skimpy replacer, and I played around some and thought about this, but for the skimpy replacer, I still think this is probably the best one, by Morgan Helsing. That is not to put down all these other people who have done, they've ported a lot of the same stuff. Okay, they've ported this Bad Dog armor set mod. I don't even know what to call it. They've ported it over to different shapes. We've got some that are 7 base OPPAI and all that, but for my taste and just what I like when I'm looking at something like this, I preferred this one. I'm not putting down anybody else's work. They're all very good. I just preferred this one by just a little bit. Okay, I feel like this one's just a little better, and it, you know, I'm pretty sure. Ooh, you know what? I forgot to check. I'm pretty sure. Did that come out this year though? Oh, I may have messed up. Well, I'll tell you what. If this did not come out this year, the only reason I wouldn't recommend OwwThatSmarts is because there's a slight issue with, I think it is the hide boots make your feet invisible, and if you use Vermina's robes, it freaks out your Xbox, and you get a bunch of rainbow pixels all over your screen, and you can't really see anything. But other than that, I would go with OwwThatSmarts if this one did not come out this year. For some reason, I thought this one came out early this year, but if I have messed up and forgotten and got that wrong, yeah, you can always let me know. Nonetheless, if I was going skimpy, that's the one I would be looking at. But this wasn't supposed to be an all-time thing, so if I made a mistake, I apologize. Let's see. So then, if I'm looking at a character body, where is the one? Hold on, I will find it. I will find the one that is probably my favorite right now for just a good old body replacer. It is mesh only with the chainmail. That's my pick, my favorite. Okay, and there is armor that goes with it. OwwThatSmarts made it right there. Don't use Vermina's robes, and avoid Dawnguard until that gets fixed. And you know what? Just don't use the hide boots if they make your feet invisible. Who cares, right? It's not a big deal. So a couple of minor issues, we could easily report that, and I just haven't. I haven't done that yet. I meant to report that, and just so OwwThatSmarts would have a chance to fix it, and I haven't gotten to it. But this would be my body replacer of choice that came out the past year. I think it's really, really good, super good, and it really suits my tastes a lot. Now there is one No, it's not. Okay. Anyway, forget that. It doesn't matter what I was thinking or what I was going to say. So now, alright, so I have to stop for a moment, but I will come back, okay? So bear with me and the editing. I will be back. The owies will continue. So the next in our armor replacer, or in this case it's more of an armor recolor, is Variations, Armor and Clothing Recolors by S4Zenda. I did make a request that they would please, pretty please, move it out of work in progress. Because it's so hard to find. The only way to get to this original mod is to go down in work in progress on your computer and locate it and add it to your favorites or to your library. As you can see, I added it to my favorites so I'd be able to find it easy. It's all these variations mods are very good, and they give you some options because it really, now let's read the description here, is a texture and mesh replacer for an array of armors, clothes, and such. Now, as of version 3, Variations comes with practical armors included. Okay, so it has that built in. Now, in the past, it did not include a lot of meshes, and it was just textures. And actually, if you can find, there's a lot of variations. No, that's horrible. Sorry, this is the Variations mod. There's a lot of versions of the mod, and if you can find the ones that really just do the textures, just change the colors, those are really cool because you can use those with any armor replacer. Basically, it's really big. Okay, this is really big, but you could put this in your load order and then put another armor replacer underneath it, and not 100%, but 90% of the time you will pick up the colors from this armor and clothing armor and clothing recolors from Variations. You'll pick up those colors, which is cool. Is it 100%? No, it's not. For some reason, some of the armors like glass can be an issue, but it's just something to notice. So sometimes you'll get, some differing results. And you don't have to use this big mod. There are, like I said, there's some different versions. There's some smaller versions for that target specific specific groups of armors and clothing, or even just specific armors, period. So, but I wanted to mention this one. This one is really great, and I do have an old video out there on it. It's very cool. Okay, so now if we look at the Elven Chainmail UMPB, this is the one that King ported over. I really like this one. There is another one, and it's good, but I really like this one better because I can craft everything, and I have 3 choices of the armor. There's the Elven Chainmail, the Thalmor Chainmail, and Ancient Chainmail, and they're all slightly different, and you can craft the sword. My only negative thing is that you have to have the book Light Armor Forging, which is annoying. But you know what? It's manageable. It's manageable. So it's better than needing to go to what do they call it? The Skyforge in Whiterun to do everything. That is, I have found that to be way more annoying than needing to carry a book. Sorry, letting my my hickness show. Anyway, needing a book is not as bad as needing to go to the Skyforge every time I turn around. So I wish that there was a way to just flag all the forges to be Skyforges. Maybe there's a way to do that. If some modder knows how to do that, that would be fantastic. Anyway, so this is King Port's Elven Chainmail UMPB, one of my favorite add-on armors for the year. Now, there is one more, kind of 2 more, but especially one more that I want to mention. because that is a female only thing right there, and I want to make sure that we look at some of the other stuff. And this would actually probably be overall my first choice, and that is the Stark Armors by Nordwar UA, which was ported by Raxinate. This, I mean, for males and females, you'll notice he's got pictures here of a girl, and then the guys, it's great. It's great on all of them. I think I have Cage wearing a variation of this and Thor wearing a variation of this. I really like it. I think it looks good on the girls too, though. It does. I mean, and it has a realistic look that I like. Another one that's similar that's very good is the Chainmail. I'm going to mention these just because I think they're great and you might like them. And the King Armor is also very great, very good. And it's really nice. Look at that. That looks cool. But I have to say that my favorite, for whatever reason, just me, just me, no reason that I can think of other than just me, is the Stark Armors. The Stark Armors are super nice, and I like the different variations you have with it. It's great. You have the Northern Knight set, the Northern Lord set, the regular Northern set. It's all upgradable, enchantable, and you can mix and match some. You can play around with it. It's really, like I say, to me, it's just super cool. Very nice. This is my absolute favorite. The UMPB Elven Chainmail is really, that's like just girls only there. Alright, so I have to stop for a minute. I'm going to show you the only weapon mod that made the cut. So I'll be back. The always will continue in a moment. Alright, so to show you this weapon mod, I had to go back to work in progress on the computer and put it in my favorites, okay? Now, let me show you. Here we go. Test Fancy Bows. Now, this is a Morgan Helsing mod. It's down in work in progress. It's buried down there, which is awful. It's awful because I tried this out and it's actually a lot of fun. It gives you a bunch of different bows that you can play around with. I liked it. Now, it may not be to your taste, and that's okay if it's not, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Gives you some good bows that have distinctive looks, and well, I don't know, I just liked it. If you would pair this with that one katana crafting mod, then you would have like some unique bow. You'd have a unique bow to go with your unique, well, that's not really the right way to say that, is it? You know how you'd have a katana for every suit of armor, like you'd have a glass katana and an ebony katana and a steel katana, blah blah blah. Each suit would have its own katana with that katana crafting mod. Well, also you would almost have the same thing here with these bows. Now, I think some of these bows have some different effects to them. It's been a while since I've looked at it, but they're nice. They look cool, as you can see in the picture, and they're just fun. I thought they were fun. I thought this was a good weapon mod. I hate that it's buried down in work in progress and it's hard to get to. Like I said, the only way I know to get to it is on your computer and then add it to your favorites. Try not to have so many favorites that you can't see them all. That's hard to do, but yeah, try. That would be my recommendation. So, now, let's see if that bumped me off yet. No, it did not bump me off, so I don't have too many favorites yet, so that's good. So anyway, so that bow mod is what I'm saying is my weapon mod choice, okay? And I don't remember, there were some other weapon mods that I have tried, but that was, I think, one of the best ones that I remember, and probably the only one I really remember from this year. There were some others I tried that had some little issues here or there, or were good but not quite the same as this. And notice this is very small. It's less than 21 megabytes, and you get quite a bit of variety in it. So let me come back over here. So now I want to show you NPC replacers. There's two NPC replacers really worth noting. First, and overall the best, when you take everything into consideration, is Lynn's, or Lean, I don't know how to say this, Skyrim NPC overhaul. It does everybody. It does girls and guys, and I say everybody, and that's not totally true. He tells you in the description, he or she, whoever they are, they tell you in the description about 750 people. So it's almost like they don't change the guards. There's folks that are not changed, okay? That's fine. I don't care. This is still overall the best NPC overhaul. Now, one of the great things about it is it does something that I've been looking for, is it cleans up all these guys' faces so that they just don't look filthy, dirty, and disgusting all the time. Now, and it does a good job with the girls. Not as good as Botox, but it does a good job. I'm going to try an experiment to see if I can mix and match, but we'll get into that later. Nonetheless, overall, I would say this is the winner, because it does so much for such little space compared to other NPC overhauls, and it does a very good job. So you just have to try it and see if you like it. There may be things about it you don't like, but it's very nice. Now, the other NPC overhaul that I have to mention is Botox. It is the best female NPC replacer there is. It's huge, but it is the best. And I don't even think, is there a debate? I don't even think there is a debate. As far as having the prettiest girl faces and heads and hair, this is it. There isn't anything on the Xbox right now that's any better. You can take other mods and put together something that's almost as good, or that is as good but doesn't cover as many people, just like in the other one I mentioned. It doesn't cover doesn't cover all the females. It covers a large number, though, most of them. But this one covers all females, and it really does a good job. But it's huge. It's huge. I know. I'm not debating that. That is not even a question. It is huge. Alright, so now an NPC add-on mod that came back, and so I'm counting it as new because it's a new version, and it came back to us when it was gone. And for the Xbox, this is huge, and I'll explain to you why in a moment. But let's find it first. Here we go. Okay, so this is the version that the mod author has brought back to us. This is the version with no quests, and it just adds the immersive winches, right? Okay, so because you have this, because you need this for the other winch mods to work, the other winches mods need this. So now that we have this back, okay, and it has no quests, it's just the original immersive winches, I'm fine with that. That's cool. Now you can go back and you can use the judgment winches, the forgotten winches, the hateful winches, and the deadly winches. These really fill out your enemies and your dungeons and really make them a lot of fun. Now you notice I don't have any of this downloaded here, but I'm going to create a playthrough game, and I'm going to have these in my game, because these really add a lot to your game. In my opinion, they make it a lot of fun. But you need, see, required mod, you need the immersive winches mod for these to work. That's the only requirement. So, and not all of these are very big, but you have to have it. So that's why that one gets a mention from me. These are enemy mods that you will love. In my opinion, you will love having them. I really enjoyed having them. They really fill out your dungeons and make your dungeons a lot harder. So the immersive winches, and the immersive winches are fun anyway. It gives you more followers and more stuff like that. And yes, more girls in town, right? Okay, so it gives you that too. Alright, so I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Now we're going to get into kind of a followers, but first I want to do not really a follower, but a horse mod. And not that I've covered every possible category, but I just happen to think I did a couple of horse mods that I liked, and this was my favorite. The Armored Permafrost. I just thought it was so cool looking. Kind of reminds me of the old Ghost Rider horse from the comics when I was a kid, and it's not the Ghost Rider you're thinking of with the motorcycle, but it's before him. Anyway, it's an old Western thing, okay? Nonetheless, doesn't matter if you remember that or not. What matters is, I really thought this was cool, and it just kind of reminded me of that, and I'm just silly enough to enjoy it, okay? So, there you go. It's the Permafrost Armored mod. Converts Frost into a white horse with frosty aura and glowing eyes. So he looks more like, you know, you'd think of with his name. Let's see. Is there anything else? There's not much else to tell you, I don't think. Just... Yeah, if you have any issues trying to do it mid-game, I didn't... Well, did I? I don't know. I do a lot of things in crazy ways. But you can always get the unarmored version, and he's really, really cool too. But I really liked the armored version. It's only slightly bigger, so... But either version is very good, okay? So, I don't think you'd be hurting yourself either way. Now then, we have a follower. We have a follower. This is based on nothing... Wait, do I have this? I have this in my game. Hold on a second. I should be able to find this. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of stuff here that I was going to do shows on. You'll have to pardon me while I hold up the owies for technical reasons. Reasons like having too much stuff subscribed to in my library. Oh my goodness, we're not going to be able to get there. Let's see. I think she's in my favorites. We're going the wrong way though. She would be out here. Yeah, okay, so Tori, and it doesn't matter which version of Tori you get. I think for looks wise, she is just a very pretty follower, very nice. She is a very vanilla follower. She does come with an axe and some eyebrows, but I mean basically a pretty vanilla type of follower that you could do anything with. You can outfit her, and if you use AFT like I do, you can get her to fight a certain way or heal you, or you know, just do what you want. So I really liked her. I just think she's really, really nice, very, very pretty face, very good job. So that's just me. I tend to use the one that uses my body and textures and just has the head mesh and stuff and the hair. So, but you can use any of them. There are several versions, and JWD, Justin White Designs, if I remember right, does a good job with these followers, and they have a number of followers out there that are good. And I didn't, okay, I guess I was sexist. I did not choose a male follower. I don't see a male follower in my list, so I will apologize to you for that, but I'm trying to remember if I did any new male followers. And I think the only one I would have done was probably another Justin White Designs follower, I believe. Let's see if we can find him. Yeah, I think it was this Hammond. I think he was one of the few male followers. I have done male followers, but I think he's one of the few that I've done that came out last year. You know, he's not been around a long time. So, he was a good follower. Is it Hammond, though? Is this really him, or was it someone else? You know, I might be remembering incorrectly. So, if I... Oh, I know I did Calamar. No, I did do Hammond the Bishop. This is the version I did. I did Hammond the Bishop, and I also looked at Calamar. Both were very good. So overall, you know, for male followers that you can pretty much equip and do what you want with, they're very good. There's a number of different ones. I didn't try this guy, I don't think. No, I didn't try all those. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that. There is a lot of follower mods that JWD has done, and they're all really nice. I mean, if you look at all the girls look good, and the guys look like good tough guys. I mean, I kind of liked him the best in a way, just because he looks, he looks like your grumpy, sidekick type of guy, Anyway, that's just me. So let's move on past the followers. Now we're going to move into a skin texture, and this is the only one that I remember coming out this year that that really stood out to me, and it is a CBBE one. It's this one, the CBBE Skin Replacer number 25 from Asher's. It's quality CBBE Skin Replacer. It's really nice. It's very nice, and I admit I don't do a lot of CBBE stuff, but that one is really super. And if you're doing a CBBE body and you're maybe wondering what textures to use, I would give that one a whirl. Now mind you, I just tried it for a little while, and I thought it was great, but your mileage could vary, because if you play with it a long time, you may see something I didn't see. But it's really nice. It's really good. Okay. So that's that was Asher's. Now I have water overhauls. So now water overhauls, I have two things which I think are worth showing you. And you know what? I apologize for the inconveniences, but I don't see it here, so we're just going to have to find it. But this is going to be another cathedral mod. Sorry, my mind went blank on the word I wanted to use. But it's another cathedral mod. It's the Cathedral Water Overhaul. And maybe I should have put cathedral in there, because this looks like it's going to take a moment. There we go. It's very small. I thought it was wonderful, beautiful, and I could not find any edges or lines or breaks in my water. Now, you may be able to, but I went to the usual places. For me, the place where I always see water seams and lines and weirdness is always around, what's that little town? It's the little town at the foot of the mountain. Is it Iverstead? I think it's Iverstead. Hopefully I'm not telling you the wrong town name. Iverstead, at the base of the mountain there, like on the back side of the mountain from Riverwood, if you go to the other side of the mountain. If you go out to, there's an island out there. Usually I go out to that island and I can look around that island at the water, and the water has lines in it, it has breaks in it, it has, just bad stuff in that area. But with this mod, I did not have that. So Cathedral Water Overhaul, I thought it was great. And it doesn't interfere. I couldn't find that it interfered with anything, and it didn't give me any issues. It didn't give me any issues at all. Something I combined with it, though you don't have to combine it with that, but I did, was Skyland watercolor. I like the original Skyland watercolor because it's more of a blue watercolor, and I really enjoyed it. In the Skyland all-in-one, they use the green, and that's fine. It looks great too, but I preferred the blue a little bit. Anyway, nonetheless, all this does is color your water. It doesn't affect anything else. You can use it with water overhauls. I just put this underneath the water overhaul, and it was fine, and it really made my water look nice. So, and I'm gonna have to do my playthrough game and do some of this. Nonetheless, then we have, now we're coming down to the end, okay? Coming down to the end, but I have just a few more to show you, and one, of course, let me just scroll out here, is R246 Concept XBR. If you look at presets, there was only, and in a way, this is a cheat because I know that this is a revamping of what we already had, but it really is its own mod, okay? It really is its own mod. They took the other mods down, and they went and did this and brought it back, and it does what it was supposed to do. It starts you off as a female. Now, make sure you use this on a new game. If you load this into an existing game, it will change your character's body. Now, you can fix that if you have the cheat room, so you can get around it. But it's easier if you just don't use it until you do a new game. When you're ready to do a new game, turn it on and use it from then on and you'll be fine. But if you do want to use it in an existing game, make sure you have something like the cheat room where you can change your character, change their sex, change the whole preset, change everything, because you're going to have to. Otherwise, you'll be like me. I had Porthos one day and I left this turned on. I loaded up Porthos and there he's got his big man head sitting on this little woman body, and it was hilarious, but wasn't what I intended. But that's what will happen to you if you load it into a game mid playthrough that you've already started without this mod. Okay, so but that is the only thing. It has that unintended consequence. That is the only thing. You can, even the part with the droopy eyes, you can actually, I guess I was being a doofus and didn't understand, but R246 had actually explained that you can fix that with which control is that? Let me look, because now the depth slider, yeah, you can fix it with the eye depth slider. If their eyes are drooped too much, you can fix it with that. Is that going to work for everybody all the time? I don't know the answer to that, but it really seems to work for me really well. If one of my characters looks like they have the droopy eye thing, or if they have it in part of the preset, I can adjust it. So that's usually not a problem, but if you're using this, you've got R246's presets. You're not usually going to use the other old presets, but if you wanted to, you could still manage. Alright, so let's see. So that is one. Now there's one other preset that I use, and well, actually you can see it right over here. I use her for Jade, and that's this Green Girl preset. I really just kind of liked the idea of it, and then I just kind of like her, so I just went with it, and that's basically Jade. In the I made a few tweaks to Jade, just some minor things that I like differently, but other than that, she's basically this preset. And using all of these together is not always recommended. I would say, depending on the game you're playing, what you're doing, make your choices. Turn some mods off. It's okay to turn a mod off if you don't need it or don't want to use it for that playthrough. That's okay. So like, I keep all these mods around, but they're not all always on. So alright, so that was the Green Girl preset. Now I have one other thing about a player home, the only one, and I'm going to have to stop here and let that, and we'll do that in just a moment. So the Owies will be right back out the player home category. Okay, player homes. The only one that I could find that came out last year that I did a show on was this Riverwood Hideout. I think that's why I left it off the category. If you know of something that maybe should have been in here, let me know. But there is something good and unique about this. The Riverwood Hideout is just that. It's an outdoor hideout home that you can easily just go to. There's no doors, there's no loading screen. It has everything you need. And like, for starting a new game, if you want to start somebody who's basically out in the wilderness and you don't want them to have a home yet, and you don't want them to be rich, and maybe, I don't know if this would be good for survival or not. Maybe it would be. I don't play that way, so I don't know. But this is a very good mod in that it has everything you need. It has storage, it has all the crafting and everything like that you would need to be able to play. So, and they wrote this here, you escaped execution, you don't have anything but your life, and you just need shelter and a place to do your business, and this is it. This is perfect. Like I said, it has storage and it has all the crafting stuff you need. It doesn't have a staff enchanter, but does anybody really use that a lot? I don't really find that I'd really mess with that, so just saying. So anyway, this is like a natural hideout, and it's very cool. So out of home mods, maybe that would be the one. But alright, now I think I'm really done. I think that's it for our spotlights in review for 2019. I think that's everything. I hope this has been of some value. And no, they're not in any particular order, but I only chose like one or two of each category, just the ones I really thought were good and stood out. Okay then, so that is our first Owies show, Spotlights in Review for 2019. I guess it's not an Owies show, it's the Spotlights in Review for 2019, but our award is the Owies. So all of the mods that I tried to show you and mentioned, in my opinion, are definitely worthy of a better award than I can give. How's that? That's the truth. But they still have an Owie to their credit, and whether you ported the mod or created the mod, that's still worth something, because I at least enjoyed your mod. And I think really for all these mods, I think there were quite a few viewers that liked all of these too. Of course, you know, everybody can always give us their opinion down in the comments. That you're welcome to do that, of course, and I try to still read and look at all the comments as much as I can. So that's it. That's our first Spotlights in Review for 2019. The now infamous Owie Awards have been given, such as they are. So I just want to thank y'all for putting up with the craziness, the silliness. I hope the final edit of this is pretty decent. So yeah. So thanks for watching, and you know, let's see if we can do this again next year. It'll be crazy and fun, but hopefully not as broken up as this was. Hopefully it'll go a little smoother. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful year. Hey, this is a new year. I know we're kind of a few weeks into it, but it's a new year. Try to think positive. Try to you know, do something fun and positive, and you know, let's try to leave any negativity we had in 2019 behind, at least until Bethesda does something bad again. Okay. all right. I will catch you later. Final addendum to the special spotlights on 2019 in review. For the modders who your mod or your port of a mod was on the show, your special award is an Owie. That's all I can come up with. You get a wonderful Owie award in name only, and you probably regret that I even mentioned you in my show. Okay. That is your special reward, because this is such a small little channel, and it probably is really meaningless. But just know subjectively that if I selected your mod, that I really liked your mod. That's got to be worth something to you, at least a little bit, right? Okay. Anyway, that was my special addendum I thought of afterwards, because I know that there are some modders that occasionally come through and see some of the videos. So if you see this Spotlights in Review for 2019, know that you and your mod, even if it was a port, you know, then you have an Owie award, one of the first official Owie awards, which is meaningless and funny. Okay. All right. That is the end of my silliness now, really. Okay. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate it. I will catch you later.